Footage of Hamas terrorists being captured in Gaza and stripped to their underwear are going viral. While some criticize Israel for releasing the images, Alex Trayman from the Jewish News Syndicate says they send a strong message. He joins us now to discuss his take on the situation. Alex Trayman, thank you so much for joining us. Great to have you back on the show.
Thank you for having me.
To begin, there's been outrage over the images of Hamas captured inside Gaza, stripped down to their underwear. Now, human rights groups are calling this inhumane. Military experts, meanwhile, are saying that's to make sure there's no hidden explosives. Now, you actually have a different take. Tell us about that.
Well, it is true that they have to search them, but the pictures of having them stripped down in their underwear and blindfolded, I think are actually very important because they send a signal of strength on behalf of Israel, and also they are a tremendous humiliation to Hamas, and those images resonate throughout the Gaza Strip and the entire Arab world. And of course, before this, Israel was actually killing the operatives. But you have to understand that in the Hamas culture, there's a culture of martyrdom, and they glorify death, and that's a great honor for them. Seeing them stripped down in the underwear is a tremendous humiliation.
Now, expanding on that point, the U.S. is calling on Israel not to release these images. You argue that these images will help hasten the end of the war. How is that going to work?
If Hamas feels that it's being humiliated and the IDF is coming through and getting the surrender of Hamas operatives, it actually leads to the faster surrender of the rest of the Hamas operatives. If Israel continues to be involved in intensive gunfighting, that's going to make more deaths on the Israeli side and more deaths on the Palestinian side. So you actually want to get to a situation where Hamas understands that the war is over and actually surrenders, and they stop fighting to the last man standing.
Now, you are in Jerusalem. How do you read the different responses to, say, these captured Hamas versus what Hamas did to civilians on October 7th?
Well, exactly. If you look at what Hamas did on October 7th, I mean, the most barbaric pictures and videos that anybody's really ever seen. And then when you look at what they've been doing to the hostages that were taken, how are they treating them? You know, they're barely getting any food. Many of them have been sexually assaulted. It's believed that those that are still in custody are probably have been treated worse than the ones that Hamas actually released, and that's the reason why they don't want those other ones released, because the stories about what they're doing to the hostages, are so barbaric. So on the one hand, the international community recognizes that what Hamas did was completely barbaric and humiliating, but then they don't want to have the punitive measure instituted by Israel on the other end.